welcome to Delta College Impact. I'm Roger Waller, your host for today's program. And on today's show, we're going to talk automotive. We're going to talk specifically about the Delta College Automotive program. And on the first half of the program, I'm joined by Ted Roach, one of our auto mechanical instructors. And to Ted's left, I always have to get my left and right correct here, but to Ted's left is Ken Spradling, one of his former students. And we're going to talk a little bit about automotive. And Ted, let's start with you. I always give you the tough questions here. Tell me a little bit about our automotive program.
What we have here is a automotive program that is a complete automotive program. We're NATEF approved by ASE, which is a form of training that the entire automotive industry looks at. And we have 3 automotive certificates that we offer, along with you could get an AA degree also. There's an 8-area Master Tech Automotive certificate. That's the one we try to push the most. There's a separate auto mechanics certificate and a separate auto electrics certificate.
I tell you, probably, Ken, the toughest thing for you was starting to figure out all these abbreviations.
That's kind of hard, especially when you're getting into business.
Yeah.
In a dealership, all the abbreviations from the different lines is pretty hard.
Absolutely, and we should let you do a little plug for your current employer, because you are now employed in the automotive field after leaving Delta, and you're working for whom right now?
I work for Bavarian European Motors.
And so you are working on the cars and putting that training to work.
Oh, yeah.
Now, how long were you here at Delta?
2.5 years.
So 2.5 years. And Ted, as a student comes in, what's the preferred route that you'd have the student take, a student like Ken, as far as first class to take and next class to take?
Preferred route for the students is to start with what we call the Auto 60 series. We have an Auto 62, 63, and 64. It's 9 units. And then you can take that in conjunction with some other classes we require in our certificates, or if you need an English skills class or a reading class, anything like that to get your skills up to compete in our classes, that's where we start you. If you went to a good high school automotive program, which is articulated with us, you get to skip that 60 series and go directly into the certificate program.
Oh, that's a good point.
Ken here, he came out of the military, and he actually had enough experience he could have skipped those classes, but he got in on a special summer school class that we had and got a couple of those out of the way right away and moved on.
So one of the things, as you think about it, is that a student can come in from a high school program where they have some good basic knowledge, or they can come in without any knowledge, and you will have the classes to help prepare them for the certificate.
Exactly, that's right.
Now, Ken, when you came to Delta, did you have automotive in mind, or was there something that was attractive about the program?
Oh, no, I had the automotive program in mind. And it was, when I started, it was pretty hard to get into the classes here because there were so many people trying to get classes.
And that's always a good sign, Ted. We like to see that, right?
Yeah, that's right.
And now classes are limited because of some safety issues, as far as the number of students
Class
that you have in a
sizes
class?
are limited to 25, and it is because of safety issues. When you get 25 people out working in the lab, and you've got one person to supervise, and you need a certain amount of room. We've got a pretty spacious shop on the auto mechanics side. They just measured it off. It's 80-some feet long and 50-some feet wide. Accommodates about 8 different stalls. We've got 5 racks. And then Auto Electrics, they have a pretty good facility, which will be explained later on also.
Well, I'll tell you, that's a good lead-in, because we're going to give our audience a tour of the auto shop and let Ted and Ken talk to you a little bit about what they're seeing. Ted, looks like the door is open.
The door is open, and what I teach over there is the wheel alignment and brakes class. That's the 4-wheel alignment machine right there that you're looking at, and that's one of the latest and greatest in the alignment business. Also over there we teach manual drivetrains. Those are all the classes we teach in the spring, which we just concluded here today. And in the fall there'll be an engine rebuilding class and an automatic transmission class in that same shop. The students do get to work on some of their own vehicles, but only if it's a part of the class. If they've got an engine problem and it isn't an engines class, then they just have to wait a bit.
That's right. They have to wait to get another class to get their car fixed.
That's right.
Now, Ken, when you got at Bavarian, did you find the training here prepared you for that work?
Well, yeah, it gave me the basic knowledge from bumper to bumper on the car between Ted and Craig's classes, and it kind of opened the door for me.
And I noticed the great thing, Ted, is that you really have the students get that hands-on experience. They are in getting their hands dirty, even though your shop looks awfully clean.
Yeah, they're the ones that keep it clean too. But our lecture to hands-on is about 1/4 to maybe 1/3 lecture, and the other is all hands-on. And those students in the 8-area certificate, just in automotive, will have over 1,500 hours by the time they leave here.
Now, I noticed that you guys work on some pretty nice cars here, and I know they all aren't student cars. How do you get some of the equipment in the shop?
A lot of the cars, as far as equipment, are donated by General Motors and also by Nissan. Those are what we call the shop cars. We also do work on the faculty members' cars quite a bit. And since they make such a great salary here, they've got plenty of money for nice cars. And then the students here are actually working on some of their vehicles. And then there's private customers such as that one right there that's being worked on.
Well, I'll tell you, it's great to see because some of our retired faculty I know also keep in touch with you and have their vehicle in the shop. But Ken, when you got in there, were you surprised at the changes in the automotive field and how many computers are involved in it now?
Oh yeah, and every year they grow more and more. And that's what was nice about Delta College is it was a school environment, but it was actually, you got a feel for what it was like in the real world, because the school environment and the real world are two different things, and we got to do real life projects in the shop, so it kind of helped.
Yeah, I know, it really is. What are they doing at this time?
Well, we're kind of putting a little heat treating to that inner bearing race to help get it off that differential carrier.
So you really are teaching the students some of the tricks of the trade as far as how to get things done when you have a unique problem.
Right. I kind of teach, and so does the other instructor. There's the textbook way, and then there's the real world way, and a lot of those things vary from time to time.
And I know
Don't you agree with that one?
Yes.
A little bit of real world in there.
Real world is, yeah. You can't just go from a school being trained on books and like scenarios that an instructor would put you through to dealing with real world situations, because it's totally different.
And I know that a lot of your lecturing is done right in that shop.
Right in
so
there.
you have your examples right there for people to see.
Yeah, I may not be the most organized person, but when I start to talk about something, and then all of a sudden I go, geez, over on that shelf, that'd be a great example. Walk right over there, keep on talking, and put on the lecture. It works out real well.
And I know some of the unique things you talked about our program is with the Nissan and General Motors tie. We have a special relationship with those organizations?
We have a special relationship with both of them. In the year 1989, developed a program with Nissan, which was called the Pro Cap, and that gave students lots of scholarship money in the earlier years and got a lot of techs out there. And then recently we've been approached by General Motors, and we're working on an ASEP program, which will give those students employment at the dealerships and specialized GM training for those students. But all students get a generic training, such as on brakes. We may talk all different manufacturers. Then the GM students kind of specialize on the GM cars. And we work on all makes and models that make up the majority of the vehicles, which would be the Japanese market and American market.
And I know, Ken, with you now working at Barbarian, you have to deal with those European and foreign models as well as the domestic models. And so you saw a good transferability between our program and there?
They're basically, I mean, all cars are basically the same. They all have the same function, just a little different systems.
Well, I always worry now. I look under the hood now, and I have to admit, Ted, that I am overwhelmed when I look under the hood and I see all these, what the engines of today look like. Now, what sort of changes have you seen as far as teaching of auto mechanics right now over the years?
Diversification. You've got to be ready to change at a moment's notice. And it isn't like in the good old days when you'd say take this particular Chevrolet V8 and you may have 100 come through. You may take in this vehicle in a day, and unless you're a specialized dealer, you may not see the same thing for another month. So there's a lot of specialization. Students have to have excellent reading skills. They've got to be able to figure things out. They've got to be able to operate computers now, know how to run that mouse around and click it and get the information. We have a total networking system within the two shops also.
And I know one of the challenges is that equipment and keeping our shops up to date. And it certainly helps with the Nissan and the General Motors tie, but there's a lot of other investment that Delta College makes in that facility, isn't there?
Oh, there sure is. We're always putting in for all the special funds we can get around here, very active and serving on those committees to make sure they go in the right direction to get those funds to keep it going.
Absolutely.
The automotive is changing so quickly, and so many new inventions and different items. Keeps it real interesting, hard for us to keep up.
Well, and I know, Ken, one of the things that Ted alluded to is that you didn't just learn auto mechanics. You also had to take that English and those other courses that fit into the certificate, because now I guess you're finding that you need a few of those other skills involved too.
Oh yeah, you have to, I mean, especially writing skills, because you have to be able to write and legibly so someone else can read it and understand what you did to the vehicle.
And the other thing is, I know that once you got at Barbarian, you don't stop your training. You continue to learn. And so, like you said, Delta provided that platform and foundation for the new training?
Yeah, Mercedes-Benz and Volvo, I go to schools throughout the year for both manufacturers.
Now, what sort of new innovations have you been working on lately in the automotive area?
New innovation. Well, the computer system is making a big change, because it's going to more computers and to go into a CAN system. Some vehicles are going to fiber optics.
Tell them a little bit about that keyless.
Mercedes has a key car coming out next year or the year after that there's no key. You have a computer chip on your key ring, and when you get within 9 feet of the car recognizes the chip, unlocks the car, you get in the car, put your foot on the brake, and push a button, and the car starts.
It is amazing to me as you hear about some of these innovations. And I'll tell you, I want to thank Ted and Ken for joining me on the first half of the program. And on the second half, we aren't going to stop talking about automotive. But if you want to continue to talk with Ted about automotive and join our classes here, we'd like to have you contact Ted at the phone number 954-5245. Or to learn more about our automotive program, you can write us at Delta College, 5151 Pacific Avenue here in Stockton, zip code 95207. And we're going to have that address at the end of the program again, so if you didn't have a chance to write it down to learn more about our automotive programs, stay tuned, because we're going to be talking a little bit more automotive, and I want to get under the hood a little bit more and find out about our emission systems and some of the other things that we have some specialized training in. So stay tuned. We'll be right back after these brief public service messages. Welcome back to Delta College Impact. I'm Roger Waller, your host for today's program. And on today's show, we're talking about automotive and getting under the hood with a couple of our automotive instructors and a couple of their students. And joining me on the second half of the program, we have Craig McAllister, another instructor in our automotive program. And to Craig's left, we have Alberto Luna, a former student here at Delta College. Now, Craig, I started with Ted. I always start with the instructor. I always give them the first chance, Alberto. You know, and Craig, as we talk about the program, I know in the first half we learned a little bit about the certificate program. Now, you have a specialized interest in the emission control systems, and you might tell our audience about why that is.
Well, I got hired on as a clean air car instructor, and I have continued on and brought the clean air car training program within the scope of our day classes. We had a chance to have it certified so that we could do the prerequisite training and all of the clean air car modules in the scope of the classroom. Since that point in time, we've kind of ramped up again and created the enhanced program well, outside in the state here in Stockton and Sacramento in the enhanced area. And then within the scope of the program, we were able to bring it up to the enhanced area standards, and the students will leave with the what they call the EA license, so that they can do the smog check, repair, and testing in the enhanced area. So it's quite a bit higher level than where it initially started off when we first started the emissions program here at the college.
And I tell you, that's a real challenge, because you have to keep up technologically with that too, because I guess that equipment's constantly changing a little bit.
Very much so. We have analyzers today that we're actually loading the vehicle in the shop, driving them on dynamometers. So you've probably noticed the smog check costs go up quite a bit, but the cost of the machinery is much more expensive. It's completely changed the training for the technician and the repairs on the vehicles that they've had in the past compared to what the new system is now. And pretty exciting. Even the technicians that are out in the industry are having to come back and do update training to gain new skills so they can repair the cars. So that's an exciting part. It also makes me keep up to the plate and continually going to training to update my skills and stay ahead of the guys in the field, which is pretty exciting in itself.
Yeah, and I know you have a success story sitting to your left with Alberto. And
Absolutely.
Alberto, I know it was a few years ago that you were here at Delta as a student, and we'll let you plug your employer and who you're working for right
I
now.
work for the City of Stockton, Fleet Maintenance Department.
And we were talking with Craig about the emissions control area. And how'd you find the training here as far as getting you ready for that real world of doing emissions tests?
Oh, it was excellent. It was really excellent. I learned a good, solid, basic background, and I took that with me. When I first left here, I worked for GM, a GM dealership. And, you know, I was able to get my smog license through the program. It was really good, you know, really, really beneficial.
And I know one of the keys is that we try to keep our program cost effective, and that means that our costs here at Delta College for students are maintained at a low level. Now, Alberto, when you were out in the field working with others, did you see that cost being quite a differential talking with some of the other workers out there?
Yes, there was a big difference. I met some former students of other institutes, and they were telling me the prices of their education. I couldn't believe the amounts they were paying. And they didn't have a smog license, they weren't certified, and when I left here I was able to get my smog certification, enhanced smog, and ASC certifications, and I paid a fraction of the cost of what they did. It was unbelievable.
And I know, Craig, I guess that sort of differential in training is always something that you're looking at, because you take pride in the type of equipment that the students work on here, as well as the training that they get.
That's right. We have worked real hard to bring our programs up to the state of the industry, and we've added the, like I say, in the enhanced area clean air car course to the process, which means equipment has to come up to the level along with curriculum and training. Exciting to watch our students end up with master certified area. In other words, through the National Institute for Automotive Service Excellence, they're able to take tests and meet and achieve that master level. Some of those certificates are required for their smog check. Others are industry standard, and the employers like to see that. Out of the program, we are able to bring those state certifications in smog check, brakes and lamps to the student, and when they do leave, we try to get as many normal certifications to that student so that when they go for that job, they already have the stuff.
They're trained and ready to go.
They're ready to go.
Well, we're going to go
That's
back
very
into the
important.
shop, and we're going to take a look at Delta Shop a little bit more, and so we can talk a little bit more about the auto electric area in this case. Craig, what are we looking at?
Well, we're looking into the service bay of the shop, taking a look at some of the donated vehicles. Looks to me like we have an air conditioning class maybe happening, or engine performance. Sometimes it's a little tough to tell. They're getting pretty electrified all the way. This one is a smog check process being done right here. Students working on a Bureau of Automotive Repair specification bar 97 analyzer. With some luck, they're going to start the vehicle and get some test results.
Now, Alberto, when you were getting this hands-on experience, what did you enjoy most about the program here at Delta?
Well, I was impressed with all their high-tech equipment. You know, I worked in the shop previously before, and it was amazing how much high-tech equipment and was available to me. You know, to use the highest quality. It's pretty good.
And I know one of the other challenges is maintaining the equipment, not only the hardware, but also the wrenches and the other types of equipment in the shop. Now, with all the computer training, do the students get that specialized background that you sort of blend the hands-on with the technical?
Absolutely. The student not only gets a chance to sit in the seat and listen to lectures and that kind of thing, we need to get them right out into the shop, as you see here, where the student has got hands-on. They're performing tasks that we talk about on actual live vehicles, and come up with repair processes and diagnostics that are going to fix cars right and the first time. And as they get into the dealers and independent shops in the area, we have some happy shop owners out there.
Well, that's really the key. I know, Alberto, as you left the program, I'm sure you felt awfully confident going out to a prospective employer and saying, hey, here's what I learned at Delta College.
Yeah, it was great. It was great, and the employees liked it. I like to see all those certifications, ASC certifications, smog licenses. It makes it really easy to get a job out there when you have that.
It's amazing how everything looks like you're looking at a little television set, and yet it's giving you all sorts of important information.
Today's equipment has completely changed compared to the days when when I was initially trained. Very, very different industry. Here we have a student working on one of the latest scan tools, looking at the engine underneath the hood. There in the seat of the automobile. He's looking at it electronically.
You know, it's amazing as I take my car into a dealership or get it repaired, I don't really think, I just think about the old days when you used to lift up the hood and try to replace a hose. I guess it's a little bit more of a challenge these days. Well, that is super, and you guys have a terrific shop out there. Now, I want to talk a little bit more with Alberto, because I know, Alberto, one of the exciting things about the program was not only did you walk away with the certificate, but you also continued on to get those general education courses and ultimately earn your AA degree. What surprised you about making that step?
Well, at first I was a little leery, but then I decided to take one class and see how it went, and it was good. I got a lot of good study habits from both instructors. You know, the automotive industry's changed so much, you have to study and read very well. So when I took those classes, I found that it wasn't that hard at all. So I went ahead and finished the whole curriculum and got my AA degree.
And nice. I know you did a great job as far as grades as well. But the real thing is, I think it says that you start with one program and you can walk away with that AA degree as a little bit of a plus. And I know that has also helped you with your employer.
Yeah, we get an extra percentage pay if we have higher education.
And so that's that's a gift that keeps on giving, as we talked about.
Yeah, definitely.
Now, Craig, I know one of the important things about our program is the links with businesses. And how do you stay in touch with local businesses and local auto shops?
Currently, life has been so busy for me that I hardly get a chance to get out anymore. However, with the smog check program, most of the local area businesses have come back and are doing training in the facility. So what happens is many shop owners, all of them being smog check technicians, are coming back into the facility for update training and transition course training. So I get a real chance to stay in touch with them, know what's going on, a real fun time working with them, so that we get some new information passed back and forth. And in that process, I get a real chance to know what's happening and students are being placed right from those classes sometimes, and some exciting things are really taking place with these partnerships with industry and training processes that are going on with the Bureau of Automotive Repair and hopefully the General Motors program in the near future and this kind of thing. So a lot of things are happening.
And I know you also have an auto advisory committee that helps to keep you and Ted and the other instructors in the area in contact with the local businesses.
Yes, we have a fairly large advisory committee. We meet twice a year, get new innovative ideas to work with, bounce ideas off of one another, and come up with new ways to meet those goals of good training for this industry.
And I know the real key is that we're trying to get that student the job so that
That's right.
Alberto, when he gets out of the program, or the future Albertos, when they get out of the program, that they're going to be ready to start with a job and that we're connected with the local businesses. And I think that's the exciting part about the vocational training is that you get trained on good equipment and you get the good instructors who get you ready for a job. And to find out more about our automotive program, you can contact Craig McAllister also, and his phone number is 954-5247. And again, just like we talked about on the first half of the program, Ted Roach and Craig McAllister are here to help the students get ready for employment. And you can learn more about our automotive program by writing us at 5151 Pacific Avenue here in Stockton, zip code 95207. And I want to thank Craig and Alberto and certainly Ted and Ken for joining us on today's program. And I hope that you've learned a lot more about the automotive programs here at Delta College. And if you want, come on down, join us in the shop, and get under that hood. Find out more about automotives and the great careers that are available. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.